What's up everybody and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. Now before I start the show today, I do have to talk about the obvious, but guys, now is not the time to panic about the coronavirus. It's time to use some common sense and some universal measures. Listening to local state officials about some preventative measures is always the best thing to do. We also have to watch out for each other, and come on guys, let's stop with the hoarding. You don't need 1,000 plies, bundles of toilet paper all of a sudden. Make sure that you save some for the most vulnerable in the population. And guys, trust me, I do want to go out and visit friends and family, but social distancing is really what's important right now, so please make sure that you're adhering to that so that you don't accidentally infect somebody that might be a little bit more vulnerable. The point is, guys, we will get through this. We're Americans. We can get through anything. We just gotta stay frosty, just like one of the pilots that we're featuring today, Mr. Maximilian Sterling. By far one of the most badass Valkyrie pilots to come out of the Macross series. Today we're going to be reviewing Kid Logic's version of the VF-1A Valkyrie, the mechanical head bust. This is the last one, guys. Let's take a closer look. Now for years there has always been a debate on who is much more of a badass pilot, Rick Hunter or Maximilian Sterling. And after he had that epic battle with Zentradi, who would later be his future wife, it was pretty much answered. Now I absolutely love the head sculpt here, no surprise, they're always so well done. I love the VF-1A because of its unique head unit, which is really cool, and the paint scheme for Max in the TV version has always been my favorite. I love that it has one single antenna, which is really cool. Everything about this is really nice, guys. The antenna here is probably the most unique feature. Most of the Valkyries have two. This one has a single one, and again, just like the previous versions, it is magnetic. This thing is really awesome, guys, and of course, the color palette is fantastic because they got that perfect shade of blue. Again, there's a lot of really unique highlights here and carbon scarring. The whole package is just really nice, guys, and the blue really makes it stand out from the rest of the Valkyries. Overall, this is a very well done job, guys. I absolutely love what they did here. When I was a kid, I used to nickname the VF-1A the Cyclops for obvious reasons. Now, the head unit here really complements that. I just love that it has a extended kind of visor that is really a nice shade of gunmetal, and within that gunmetal visor there's that nice shade of green. The sensors are also done very well. They're compact, but they still look really awesome, guys, and as you can see, there's a lot of detail here. It is definitely, again, one of the more unique head units, and that's probably why it makes it such a fan favorite. Now, very similar to the other busts, there are no real surprises in terms of the midsection of this piece. They all look pretty much standard. What really sets this apart is the color palette. Now, because it is all white, you can see a lot more of the shading in the carbon scarring. The detail in the servos and the gyros all pretty much look the same. But I have to admit, because of that white, you get to see much more of the details in terms of the stickers, the no step signs, the reds really pop out, and again, there is this nice illusion of wear that this thing is just been through hell. And given Maximilian's propensity for winning battles, you can totally see why. I swear, guys, this is the last time I'm gonna bitch about it, but it's really one of my only gripes. I wish that the air flap was functional as usual, and again, I think they got the QC issues out of the way with this one. It does seem like it's offset, but that's just the angle of the camera, but it is actually pretty dead center, which is a good thing because at this price point you want to make sure that they're perfect or near perfect. Other than that, there's a lot of detail here. Again, I just don't understand why they didn't make these things functional, and that's the only drawback. The lower section of this piece is really no surprise also, and again, I've mentioned this before, there's nothing wrong with it, so I'm glad they didn't change it, and in terms of uniformity for the other four, I'm glad that they made them look the same. Everything is very rich, and it really stands out. I think, again, more so because this piece has a very unique color palette with the VF-1A TV version of Max. Overall, it does look like it's on a gantry just like the other Valkyries, and it looks really good, guys, so there's really nothing to talk about here too much if you've seen the other reviews. Now, the reverse side is something you definitely want to mirror because it's so unique. I love the reverse side of the head unit here, especially in the colors that you see. There's a different shade of blue that looks really nice and pops, guys, especially with the other colors all working in tandem to make this thing look so awesome. Again, you get to see those nice industrial tubings, you get to see a lot of the inner workings or the reverse side of what this thing has to offer and how it attaches to the base. Overall, guys, I'd say definitely mirror this one, it's gonna look awesome. And once again, guys, if you've seen all 4 reviews of the other previous Valkyries, you know that the bases are pretty much the same, very industrial looking. I definitely love that steel in the front, or what simulates steel, and again, that's where you actually put the batteries for when you light this thing up, which I'll show in a moment. Again, I have to bitch about the actual insignia of this piece. I don't know why they use this cheap sticker, but it does read VF1A SDF1 UN Spacey, but again, that is going to warp over time, so be prepared to replace that, guys. Okay guys, all that negativeness aside, this is where we get to the good stuff. This is what really makes these pieces amazing. I've showed them with the other Valkyries, but the lighting system here is just so awesome, guys. And again, I can't even begin to describe how amazing it looks in real life. This is really not doing it justice. The uniqueness of the Cyclops, or what I call the VF1A, is really cool. It's nice and compact. It just looks so awesome, guys. It eerily reminds me of HAL from 2001: A Space Odyssey. You know, the Kubrick masterpiece, but that aside, it's just really cool, guys. What can I say, guys? And I have to check the archives, but this is 4 Holy Grail pieces in a row. These things are just absolutely amazing. And if you have the set, they're gonna look fantastic, guys. So if you can find this relatively cheap, definitely pick them up, guys. They're gonna look amazing for any Macross Robotech collector. These are definitely worth it, guys. Now before I go, I just want to thank the folks over at Sideshow Collectibles for sending this wonderful piece over for review. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on Kid Logic's version of the VF1A Valkyrie, the mechanical bus statue. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. Well, I'm trying to look at the bright side, guys. At least I'm going to get more reviews done now that I'm under quarantine. But seriously, guys, be careful, be safe, be smart, don't be hysterical, use universal measures, make sure you're social distancing, and most importantly, wash your hands.